How did Nina Agdal psychologically manipulate Logan Paul into believing she was innocent?
Be nice to me.
Be nice to me.
As you'll know, Logan Paul's new fiancée, Nina Agdal, is the most innocent and wholesome person on earth.
Long and somewhat colourful history. With other men, lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of other men.
I sucked a d in a football stadium full of people once.
Okay, maybe not so much. And recently it has come out that she seemed to have manipulated and lied to Logan about her very lengthy past. Keep in mind, we all can do whatever we want, but this is about someone hiding their apparent true self from their person to get something out of them. And this may help you identify when someone is trying to manipulate you. So these are the psychological tactics Nina seemed to have used, along with her body language, to manipulate Logan into believing she's wholesome and innocent, to apparently entice him into marrying her. Now, let's get started.
I don't know. I was a little nervous about coming on here, but I'm here and I'm happy I'm here. So
thanks, babe.
Yeah.
After Logan proposed to Nina in Italy,
Did you ask my dad?
I gotta do that.
he finally had her on his impulsive podcast. But watch for Nina's body language when co-host Mike says this.
Nina Paul is something I feel like I can deal with. To
Okay,
be
you
honest.
can
I'm
probably
actually
handle
very
it.
excited about it. I mean, I'm very excited about it. I think there's a lot of stuff people don't know about you.
Yes, she's oddly frightened out of her mind with that massive eek expression showing all of her teeth. The points of her mouth are down in fear, eyes wide open looking at Mike when he said that, and we notice clear stress and tension in her neck. Keep in mind, this podcast was recorded before the truth of Nina's past came out. So at this point, Logan and Mike have no idea what Nina is apparently hiding from them. Now, when I hit play, notice Nina's body language response to Logan now.
Well, that's why I'm nervous.
Yeah, Nina's eyes widen massively again in fear. When we are fearful, our eyes widen to take in our surroundings when our sympathetic division of our autonomic nervous system engages. Also notice that she holds onto Logan's leg at that exact moment to possibly influence Logan into having a feel-good physical connection to subconsciously hope that will cause Logan to be less invasive. Nina is clearly scared out of her mind that they researched her and are going to spring her past on her during the podcast to increase their podcast ratings. It just goes to show you that she doesn't really trust Logan as much as she may make it seem. Keep in mind, this is Logan Paul after all, and she knows from his past that he does anything for views.
The amount of meat on this bone.
On your phone?
Nina seems to be trying to deflect from her past being brought up, oddly with sexual humor because she seems to have a one-track mind. Do you see Logan's smug smile there? Clearly she only had that one-track mind with Logan because he brought that side out of her. Yes, us guys with our male egos many times believe that because that's what we want to believe. And clearly Logan is believing that right now.
We have been super intentional about being private while we were dating. And I did that because I didn't want our relationship in any way to be about or affected by content, especially.
Did you see her eyes widen sharply there in fear? Yes, there's something big that she's hiding that may impact their relationship.
That when you put yourself out there online, often you are throwing yourselves to the wolves of the internet, and it can be a gnarly place.
That's true, but there's also some things that the internet would have found out for Logan sooner before he proposed to her with a $750,000 engagement ring.
Oh my god. Oh, it's perfect.
$750,000.
Also, Logan was basically hiding her for over a year, and of course Nina wasn't completely against that move either to possibly keep her past a secret.
Any foods that make either of you gag?
My gag reflex is pretty strong.
Okay.
Yeah, take a lot.
Okay. Wait, you went further.
Okay. We're talking about food. I don't even know where we're
This
at.
is the first time, because of the engagement, you've agreed to come on Impulsive.
I know. I needed that ring on my finger before going here, but it's here, so we're ready to go.
Ooh, sneaky. Why do you think she wanted an engagement ring before going on Logan's podcast and getting scrutinized by the internet? Yes, it's much more difficult to break off an engagement than break up with a girlfriend.
It's here, so we're ready to go.
It's gorgeous.
Because of Prime Drinks, some think Logan's a billionaire now, but personally I think his company is way overvalued because a lot of it is just internet hype. But it's important to note that Logan is probably one of the more wealthy people she's been with. And the other high status men like Leo DiCaprio and other celebs may have had their trepidations because they knew of her past. I'm not saying that is right or wrong, it's just that it can sometimes be true.
Do you tell your fiance how
I don't
much?
think so. That's kind of weird.
That's what I thought
Yeah.
too, but I tell her everything.
Oh, Logan tells Nina everything, so of course Nina tells Logan everything too. Or so he thought. This is a common error we sometimes make. In psychology, this involves a false consensus effect. This is where we may overestimate the extent to which others are similar to us, especially when we choose to be around them. Therefore, Logan seemed to wrongly believe that Nina was being completely open and honest with him because he was being open and honest with her. Also, her being beautiful may have obscured Logan's judgment with what's called in psychology as positive illusions, confirmation bias, halo effect, cognitive dissonance, social comparison theory, and fear of rejection. In short, many times beautiful women have the ability to make some men feel insecure, such as Logan, as we discussed in my prior video, causing him to be intimidated and to avoid searching or even considering any possible red flags. But why do you think that's the case? Right? Because they don't want to discover anything that will take their amazing person away from them, and they may not believe that they can ever find someone else that they're attracted to. Also, if you notice, this psychology connects back to Logan desperately hiding Nina from the internet for over a year.
Pick a popular political figure, any political figure in the world. Nancy Pelosi? All right, so we're back out here in Dorado Beach right now, me, Logan, and Nancy Pelosi.
When I noticed Logan was doing that last year, I presumed Logan's new girl was not a public figure and didn't want the public attention. However, when I found out that she was a famous model who was very used to the public spotlight, I knew something was up. Yes, he seemed to do that because he didn't want to find out anything that would burst his little bubble. And of course, Nina was totally on board with that, so Logan wouldn't apparently find out about Nina's past.
And I know she wanted to know. Even though she wouldn't have asked me, I know she wanted to know. In that moment, I was like, you know, this is why this is the girl I'm marrying. Because like this moment, even though it is about this object right here, is just us.
Yeah.
It's just us right now. I had to tell her. I was like, look at this. Like, do you like it?
And I get the rest of my life to look at this ring, so I wasn't really concerned. I saw how big it was, and I was like, you did really good. Now let's make out.
Okay, seems quite superficial, and from our last video, we already discussed a lot about how Logan Paul is superficial, but what do you think?
I mean, I knew it was happening.
I told you this girl knows everything.
Oh, I know, she's just very aware.
Yeah, I'm a witch. I'm a witch.
But she's a witch.
A little witchy.
Okay, but tell
Sometimes
me,
bitchy.
getting the proposal perfect was harder than fighting Floyd Mayweather. It's the hardest thing I've ever done in my life because it's her. I wanted to film it, make a nice piece of content for us to watch for the rest of our lives.
Logan really had no idea, and after our last video where we discussed his angry sibling manipulation, and now this video where he's apparently being manipulated, as the saying goes, there's no business like shit business.
I've been so intentional about keeping things between us. You are not an internet piece of clickbait for me. You're my everything, babe. I fucking love you so much.
Do you know why he said that? Yes, because in the past, Logan would typically use the women he's with as clickbait to get views and make money.
Stole my brother's girl. And you're gonna be my thumbnail.
However, I think Logan wanted to believe that Nina was just some simple, wholesome supermodel that was waiting her whole life for him to arrive. As a guy, we would much rather think that, but at some point you have to open your eyes, and sadly for Logan, his eyes were suddenly and abruptly forced open by the internet.
I don't really think are that pretty, so I prefer you to hide it inside.
How did you guys meet?
I thought this girl was the prettiest girl on the planet.
Told Mac about me way before.
Wait, dude, when she had her Super Bowl commercial.
Yeah, she was that woman in the Super Bowl commercial, which you probably felt a little awkward and uncomfortable watching that with your family when it all of a sudden came on.
That Nina Agdal's in the Super Bowl commercial. We got through rounds of contracts, and the day before we were supposed to shoot for 99 Originals, she fucking canceled on me.
Well, you were, first of all, way too cheap. Obviously, you have a couple of things in your past that I wasn't sure I wanted to be associated with that.
In psychology, what Nina was doing is called projecting to make it seem like Logan was the one with the shady past, when in reality, Nina certainly has shadiness too. She may not have been interested in Logan at that early point, but for Logan going forward, he's thinking I'm the shady one who needs to prove to the innocent and wholesome Nina that I am not shady and that I am worthy of her. Psychologically, this may divert your attention inward, presuming that the person who is making the accusation about you is certainly not guilty of the very thing thing that they're accusing you of. And clearly she can't possibly be shady herself because she wouldn't accuse me of being shady if she was also shady. See how that obfuscation works using projection?
I've made a severe and continuous lapse in my judgment.
And then we just started vibing and hung out the entire night and literally have not left each other's side since.
Did you guys hook up the first night?
She wouldn't have sex with me. You not having sex with me for the duration of time that you did was very important.
You thought something was wrong with me.
I'll be honest, I thought I did.
You talked to Mike about it.
This girl's perfect as far as I can tell. There's one unexplored venture, and I have reason to believe that there's probably something wrong with it because if it's too good to be true, it probably is.
She held off with Logan, which made Logan perceive Nina as more classy, higher value, and more innocent, therefore much different than other women he's been with. Little does Logan apparently know Nina posted things on social media which she blatantly implied she's not nearly as picky about who she's with than Logan thought.
Do you believe that that waiting period had a long effect and led to this moment?
No.
I do. I absolutely do.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, did you see that?
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Nina seems scared and therefore concerned that Logan became interested in her because he doesn't know her past, and maybe when he finds out, he won't be interested in her anymore.
Do I have a good amount of respect for it, and did I appreciate it? I absolutely did. I absolutely did. I thought it was classy. I kind of always wanted my fiance to be that.
Oh, shoot. Did you notice what Logan said? Listen to that part again.
I thought it was classy. I kind of always wanted my fiance to be that.
Yes, he said be that and not do that. What do you think that implies? Yes, he wanted his fiance to be more innocent and wholesome. Much different if he were to have said do that, implying simply holding off from doing those types of things with him specifically right away. Logan at this point certainly seems to not know much about Nina's past and seems to have a false idea of her in his mind.
She fits every single quality on the list.
I liked it. I respected it. She thought I was love bombing her.
Yeah, I
Right,
thought
but,
there was
you
something
know, I
going
like
on.
you like me, I have a crush on you.
It was a lot.
We're gonna be together for a long time.
I can't believe it. I'm in love with her. Nina, if you're watching this in the future, you're my wife. We're getting along, admit it. What? You don't think I'm getting along with her?
As we said, Logan has no game and was intimidated by Nina's beauty because he's quite insecure and immature. As much as Nina manipulated Logan into believing she's something different than she clearly is, Logan put a massive target on his back by love bombing her the first time they met. As you can probably guess, love bombing on a first date is quite cringe. But why do you think that? Yes, it's because you really don't know anything about the person, so love bombing them would just be in love with the idea of them you created in your mind. It's fine to express interest in the other person, but love bombing on a first date? Logan probably came across as a third grader who she knew she can easily manipulate.
I could just be spewing bullshit from my mouth. She doesn't know me, bro.
I didn't know.
She has no idea who I am.
Oh, that's right. Everything that Logan Paul has ever said was honest, deliberate, and intelligent. Why would anyone question anything Logan ever says?
I started dating Nina. I quickly realized she likes to kiss in public, and I did not.
I love. And people that are in love, when I see a couple that's just so happy with each other, obviously there is a limit.
Actually, I don't think she understands there's a limit.
Football stadium full of people once.
Raise your hand if you've ever been victimized by a PDA situation.
You got a hand?
Literally,
We got two hands.
Go ahead, Caleb.
we
Spin
got
the camera,
three.
Caleb.
Now in the comments, how long do you think Logan and Nina have together before they break up? 1 year, 2 years, 1 month, 1 week? Never! Let everyone know in the comments below. Subscribe and hit that notification bell for more.